Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Sri Nandanandanam Bande Radhika Charanadvayam Gopi Jana Samayuktam Brindavana Manoharam Bhajami Radham Aravindanetram Smarami Radham Marudasmitasyam Vadami Radham Kuruna Badara Tato Manojasti Katena Kapi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. So first of all I offer pranams to our Gurudev, Vishnu Padridanti Swami Subhaktivedanta, Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Virajit, Sri Goditai, Radha Govinda. Oh, of course. Radha Damodar, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, Sri Nrsingadev, all Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Thank you for coming. So today is Mahadwadasi. Okay, even though Ekadashi was yesterday, Vaishnavas will talk the history why we don't fast on Ekadashi today, why we fast on Mahadwadasi. So, in previous times was one king, his name was Rukmangad, very religious king, and great devotee of Bhagavan Vishnu. So, not only he would fast, his family would fast, and all country had to fast. Before kings were like father, like guru. So it was announced on the day before Ekadashi, all citizens be ready to fast for Haribas. Those who would not fast would be thrown out of the kingdom. Okay? So tell that to your daughter. No Ekadashi, out of the house. Okay? So king before, religion was quite serious. Because who eats grains and Ekadashi, they're committing all sin. Killing cows, killing mother and father, stealing, blasphemy. All sin is committed by one who eats grains on Ekadashi. What do you think Nitai is eating at home now? Nimai.
Oh, yeah, non-Ekadashi.
Sin personified. Anyway, so, king was very strict. So because all citizens were following Ekadashi, who follows Ekadashi, all their sin is destroyed. Then no one to go to hell. Narak became empty. So all demigods have their own thinking, no? Sukadeva Goswami in 10th canto, he little criticizes them. Too much selfish. Anyway. So all demigods gathered together. Now the universal order is disturbed. Prangopal Kappa. Because the general order, most human beings doing sinful activity, they go to hell, they're purified, then according to their karma, again they're injected into the wombs of the 8,400,000 species, right? 900,000 type of aquatic, 2 million Jalajanav, like Stavaram, like 2,200,000 type of plants, trees, grass, 2,100,000 type of insect, worm and germ, 1,100,000 type of four-legged animal. Pakshinam dasalakshanam, Pakshi means bird, 1 million type of bird, and then human being. So this is the gradual order of Brahma's creation, but human beings stop going to hell. Don't worry, there'll always be someone. But demigods became worried. How can we deviate King Rukmangad from his vow of Ekadashi? So the demigods, Sukadeva Goswami in Bhagavatam actually calls them Bailamukh, opposed to Bhagavan. Still, they're not like the demons, but always looking for some self-interest. So thinking like this, they created a very attractive, beautiful woman. Her name was given Mohini. So bewildered, she enchanted everyone. So the demigod sent her to earth with a single plan. Nitai, what was the single plan? God, if you're going to sit there, you might as well listen a bit. Right? How to deviate everyone from Ekadashi. So Rukmangad, he was going hunting. Previous many dangerous animals like bears and tigers. So to decrease their population, the kings would hunt. This was not considered so much a fault. But he became lost, he became separated from his followers, and he heard the singing of Mohini. Mohini was singing so attractively, all the animals in the forest were moving towards the sound of her voice. Sometimes we find that, even in human beings. Like Haridas, Vaishnava in Vrindavan. He had two disciples. One was expert singer. I think his name was Tangsen. He could sing so attractively, no? More than any other human. So there was a singing competition. So who will judge the singing? So Tangsen was very intelligent. He said, I cannot believe any human being, because human being you can bribe. But animals you cannot bribe. So he began singing so wonderfully, all the animals of the forest came near him. Especially one deer came very close. Tangsen took off his garland and put it on the neck of the deer. Then when he stopped singing, the deer became unenchanted and out of fear ran. All other humans were singing, but the deer would not come back until Tangsen sang again. The same deer came, he took off the garland and put again on his own neck. So Gurudev would say, even human being has such power. Imagine the power of Krishna. He's singing, he's speaking, his flute playing. So, Mohini was singing, all the animals of the forest, enchanted, began streaming in her direction. Sita, welcome. Come, we're talking the glories of Ekadashi. So the king's horse also became enchanted. And when the king came nearby, he saw Mohini, supremely attractive. The king also became enchanted, but not just by her singing. So he approached her and being bewildered, in one sense, he requested her hand in marriage. Then Mohini said, I will marry you, king, on one condition. Whatever I ask you to do, you must follow. Of course, all men agree to that when they say the magic words, I do. So, Mohini was thinking, half my mission is accomplished. So sitting on the back of the king's horse, the king went back towards his capital. So Mohini's main mission, how can you destroy religion in the family? You have to make some break there. How to deviate, separate the children from the parents, this and that. 4 ways to control someone in Vedic thought. First is some, glorify them. Oh, Balaram, you are very handsome, very wonderful. Join our group. Some. If that doesn't work, you can bribe them. Come to our temple. Every day we have avocado smoothies. So by offering some material incentive, you can control someone. This is dhan. If that doesn't work, you can make some division. It's called bed. Hey, Balaram, you know, Asta Siddhi was saying bad things about it. Don't go there, come here. You should make some division. And lastly, if that doesn't work, danda. Some violence, physical punishment. We see Hiranyakashipu tried all these things with Prahlad, but never worked. These things never work with Vaishnavas. Because Vaishnava is only controlled by one thing, that is bhakti. Welcome. Are you Sita's mother? Yes, you look like her. So, how to make some division in the family? So she was thinking like this. So the king's wife, Rukmangad's wife, normally a woman but your husband comes back with a new bride. How will you feel? Jagatarindi?
Happy.
That is a rare exception. Generally, woman would feel so much anger. But those with very magnanimous hearts not feel anger. Like Radhika, Radharani herself. Asli sava panadupanashtumam andasanam amanmhata karotuva. If I can see any woman who can satisfy me more than Krishna, I will serve her. I will bring her to Krishna to increase Krishna's happiness. So high-class persons have this character. Of course, Radhika. Guru, Vaishnavas, if they see disciple become more than them, Guru not becomes envious, he becomes happy. So in the same way, when Rukmangad's wife, the queen, saw my husband has come with a new wife, she not became envious. What did she think? Oh, my husband has brought some woman from the forest, co-wife, but because she comes from the forest, she not have any nice saris or jewelry or bangles or decorations. So she's thinking like this, she took her best saris, best ornaments and came to present as a gift. When Mohini saw that, she becomes stunned. But then also, if you cannot divide the wife, then divide the children. Often we see when some remarriages there are stepmother not behave properly, stepfather not behave properly, because not his children then cannot have that. But we see some exceptions. So when Dharmangad, who was the son of the king, Rukmangad, when he saw Mohini coming, then how my mother, this mother, no? Because the Vedas give 8 mothers. So if your father has more than one wife, then that second wife becomes mother. So thinking like this, how she will step down from the horse. So he himself went like, what's the word? How do you say? He himself went, knelt on all fours. Oh mother, step on my back and come down from the horse. Imagine such gentle behavior. So when Rukmini saw all this behavior, she thought this will not be so easy like I thought. Anyway, marriage was performed, she began living there. Then after a few days she noticed some announcement was being made. All citizens be ready for Ekadashi. Tomorrow is Ekadashi. Everyone be ready for fasting. If you cannot fast, you can take roots, fruits, seeds, milk products, water, medicine. The very sick can take medicine. This does not break Ekadashi. But still we should take little simply. Gurudev would say, drinking 10 kilos of mango lassi, this is not Ekadashi. 5 kilos of French fries, this is not Ekadashi. Simple. So she said, what is this? What is this Ekadashi business? So she'd given so much wealth to greedy brahmanas, you changed the mind of the king. So the brahmanas were saying, what is this? It's not said anywhere the king have to follow Ekadashi. Because if king fasts from grains, he'll be weak. How will he defend the citizens? How will he maintain the population? All Dharma we will have destroyed if the king is finished. Many, many ways they try to change. Like many people also know. No, anyway, rice and dal, it's offered to Bhagavan, you can take also. Many so-called Vaishnav sects not follow Ekadashi. I won't mention names, but Kripalu. Oh, sorry. Kripalu, famous, not follow Ekadashi at all. Also in Vrindavan, Hit Haribam Sampradaya, not follow Ekadashi. So Gurudev would say, who is not follow Ekadashi, we cannot call them Vaishnav. We cannot say they are servants of Krishna. So that way, following Ekadashi is one type of paribhas, definition of who is Vaishnav. No? It's that much important. Like Gurudev would always, whenever Gurudev would give initiation, he would always say, chant holy name and follow Ekadashi. He would always say every time. No? So much important. So Mohini had given bribes to the brahmanas. Welcome. This way they tried to change the mind of the king. So many. But still the king was not deviated. So finally Mohini brought out the nuclear weapon. You promised when you marry me you would follow my direction. I am ordering you not to follow Ekadashi. Then king again and again requested. Then finally Mohini said, okay, you could follow Ekadashi on one condition. Where's Isha gone? Where's Isha? She knew what was coming. So she said, you can follow Ekadashi on one condition. Cut off your head, son. You cut off the head of your son, and your wife should present the head of your son on a golden platter. Nice. We should have wished more new people had come for this. This is the Hare Krishna movement. You can follow Ekadashi, but in exchange, you must take the head of your own son, and his mother must present the head of her son to me on a golden tray. Ready? Prabhavati. It's a very extreme test. So first they asked, father was talking with the family members, what should we do? Then father said, anyway, no. Actually it was the son mainly, Dharmangad. He said, father, no. This body we have to give up today, tomorrow, the day after. This body is not permanent. But Dharma, Bhakti, that is permanent thing. So if I can give up the impermanent to achieve the permanent, that is a good deal. No? So I'm willing to establish the glories of Ekadashi, establish the glories of Hari Bhakti. I'm more than happy to give this body in service to Bhagavan. Then mother, no? These days, what parents are willing to sacrifice their child for bhajan? No. But mother also agreed. No? Therefore, that woman, her birth is successful. Oh, so yes. Haribo. Tulsidas said that woman who gives birth to Vaishnav child, that woman her motherhood is successful. Pigs and dogs give birth to hundreds of children, but we cannot say that they are glorious. So in this way, mother also accepts. If I can give one child for Bhagavan Seva, my womanhood, my motherhood is really glorious. Then father also agreed. So mother holding the tray, son extending the neck. Dharman took out his sword, was about to take off the head of his son, when Vishnu himself caught his hand. Imagine. Vishnu himself caught his hand. And all demigods manifested. Jai Rukmangat ki jai, Jai Dharmangat ki jai, Jai Ekadashi Titi ki jai. So at the time, Vishnu being very pleased to Rukmangat, Dharmangat and his wife, I think in the same body, he took them back to God. So Mohini was still alive. She didn't go back to Godhead. So everyone became too much angry at Mohini. Oh, because of her politics, because of her aversion to Bhagavan. Now we have no king, we lost our king, we lost our queen, we lost everything. This Mohini is very envious, very demonic. So everyone started criticizing. No one would look at her, no one would talk to her. Then she had so much beauty, so much everything, but that person who opposes Bhagavan, they lose everything. Madhusudana Maharaj says, when Guru goes against you, whole world goes against you. Right? Everything becomes unfavorable. All the planets, all population, even Bhagavan, everyone goes against you. So, always we have to be too much careful. No? So everyone rejected Mohini because they opposed to the Supreme Lord. No? Like when Hanuman met with Ravan. Actually, Ravan's son captured Hanuman by one Brahmastra weapon, special weapon. Hanuman had some benediction that he could not be bound even by that, but Hanuman had some desire to look at the fortifications and also to meet with Ravan. So Hanuman allowed himself to be bound. So Ravan was sitting on a great throne, like, I'm just ordinary Damodar Maharaj, but I get a nice seat. Imagine Ravan, the king of Lanka, king of the demons. He's thrown maybe 20 feet in the air, and Hanuman on the ground. You know? So Hanuman coiled his tail up to the same level, a little bit higher than Ravan was. But Ravan not became angry, he laughed. He appreciated Hanuman's, what to say, chivalry. This also one taste Biras. I have to describe when Hanuman first looking at Ravan, he could not look properly because so much effulgence from Ravan's body. Because he had all mystic powers. So much wealth, so much beauty, so much fame. No one could kill him practically. So much wealth. I remember Gurudev went to Fiji. Where's Jayashree? Where is she? Jayashree escaped. Okay. Gurudev went to Fiji and there was many wealthy persons there. Then Gurudev was telling this katha. Then Gurudev said, how much gold you have anyway? How much? Jagatrini, how much you have? 5 gram, 4 gram? It's probably gold plated. How much gold you have? 5 gram, 50 gram, 100 gram, even who has half a kilo these days. But we have so much pride in our wealth. But Ravan, his whole city was made of gold. The whole city. Imagine how much wealth. In the comic books we always make Ravan very black with pointed teeth. He was so handsome. How many wives he had? Purnamasi? How many wives did Ravan have? 100,000. You know why? He was so handsome. So handsome. That's why he was so angry at Sita. He could not understand why Sita not come to him. He couldn't understand. I'm so powerful, so wealthy, so beautiful, so knowledgeable. At that time no one had more knowledge of the Vedas than Ravan. He was expert in all branches of knowledge also. So Hanuman saw this and said, brother, you have everything, but because you oppose to Ram, it's like you have nothing. Who's opposed to Bhagwan, they have everything or they have nothing. For them is same. So in the same way, Mohini, no one talked to her, no one looked at her, all reject her. So she felt very sad, very miserable. Then she prayed to Bhagavan, I have no shelter. So Bhagavan always gives shelter to those who have nothing. Like Sudama Vipra, Akinsha. Who has nothing, Krishna, who has nothing and nobody, Krishna is their friend, Dina Bandhu. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu, Dina Bandhu Jagatpati. Who have no one, Krishna is their friend. So Mohini also prayed to Bhagavan. Then Bhagavan came, gave her some benediction. Okay, not benediction, but some place to live. So Ekadashi is, this is decided by the Tithi. We use the moon calendar. So moon always rising and setting different times, therefore Ekadashi also appears at different times. Very sad, now some so-called senior devotees of Gurudev said Ekadashi always by local Tithi. Therefore Gurudev calendar, Gurudev society, even when Gurudev would travel to America or Fiji or anywhere, he would follow Ekadashi according to local time. Because Hari Bhakti Vilasa, that is the deciding factor on the appearance of the Ekadashi Tithi. Moonrise and sunrise. Even ISKCON in the 1980s, they asked Gurudev, and Gurudev gave advice, you should follow according to local time. Then ISKCON began making local calendars even ISKCON following Gurudev's advice on Ekadashi. But don't want to say, but Premananda Prabhu, this now he's given a new rule. Whenever Ekadashi is in this Mayapur, everyone should follow that Ekadashi. So how much opposed to Gurudev direct teachings? No? But that means when a sunrise in Mayapur and Ekadashi begins, it's midnight in Houston. So everyone should wake up at midnight and begin following Ekadashi if you use that foolish logic. Anyway, they say when the sun sets, all ghosts and spirits and owls, all these things come out. No? But Ekadashi is called, these all Hari Bhakti Vilas give all these rules for Ekadashi. So if Ekadashi is mixed with the previous day, Purva Vida Ekadashi, that time no problem, you can fast. It's still considered Suddha or pure Ekadashi. No? If it's Vida, mixed with the previous day. But if it's part of a Vida, if it's mixed with the next day, that time is considered mixed Ekadashi. One should not fast on that day. Like Ekadashi, according to the lunar calendar, was yesterday. But because it's mixed with the Dasami, right? So it's mixed with the Dwadasi, So even though yesterday was Ekadashi, yesterday was not fit for fasting, so Vaishnavas give up that mixed Ekadashi, impure Ekadashi, we're using material language, and we fast on the Dwadasi. This is called Mahadwadasi Vrat. It happens like 4 times a year. But these days, who cares what Gurudev said? Who cares what Haribalak Bhakti Vilas says? I have 10 or 20 followers, I'm going to make up my own rules. This is very sad. Anyway, what to do, we cannot control everyone else, but at least we should try and control ourselves. No? So Bhagavan gave you can stay where there's mixed Ekadasi. No? Where there's part of a Vida Ekadasi, where it's mixed with the next day, Mohini, you stay there. So therefore in Ekadasi in Vrindavan, you see many times the Vaishnavas following one day and Brijabhasi following another day. Because they're not caring for the rules of mixed and pseudo Ekadasi. So Krishna said the Brahmanas who gave Mohini the bad advice, they give shelter to Ekadasi, and the result of their Ekadasi goes to her, like this. So this is why, even though yesterday was Ekadasi, yesterday we do not fast, understand? We fast today, which is Dwadasi, but it's called Mahadwadasi. Take care. Everyone understand? So very strict, very carefully we have to follow Ekadasi. No? And maybe 100 years ago, not necessary, because there were no Vaishnavas outside India. But now in recent years, of course, Vaishnavas have spread all over the globe, then everything has to be adjusted properly according to time, place, and circumstance. And Mahabhagavat, like Gurudev, is expert in that type of application. No? So, Ekadasi. Bhaktivinoda Thakur calls it Bhakti Janani, the mother of devotion. No mother, no son, no Ekadasi, no Bhakti. So, Bhakti is so much. In Bengali, they call it Haribas. Bas means to sit. Haribas. Where you? No. It's that day where Hari sits. Haribas. Residence means Bas. So Gurudev today would say today is not just a tithi, not just a date according to the lunar calendar. Today is Krishna. Right? Haribas. Guru Maharaj would say Ekadasi is not a day. Krishna himself becomes Ekadasi. So it's so pure, so powerful. We are too much fortunate. We get another chance to fast and remember Ekadasi. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says this is also called the mother of devotion. Bhakti controls Krishna, and Bhakti comes from Ekadasi Vrat. So who follows Ekadasi Vrat, they have Bhakti, and who doesn't follow Ekadasi Vrat means, inversely, no Bhakti at all. So it's compulsory from everyone from the age of 8 to 88. Or 8 to 80, Gurudev would say. It's compulsory. Everyone have to follow Ekadasi. No? Many people think only Vaishnavas have to follow Ekadasi. But the Puranas describe, no, everyone has. Whether you worship Shiva, there's a verse in the Puranas. No? I saw it once, but looked again, and I could never find it again. Bhaman Maharaj wrote one little book in Ekadasi, but now it's out of print. So, whether you're a yogi, whether you worship Shiva, whether you worship the sun god, Ganesh, or Vishnu, Ekadasi is compulsory for all types of persons. So, of course, the non-Vaishnavas also follow Ekadasi. But for them, that limb of bhakti following Ekadasi becomes like a limb of karma. Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes all these things in Jaiva Dharma. The non-devotees, the smartas, they also perform worship of the deity. They also chant the Sandhya, the Gayatri mantras. But their goal is something within Varnashram, some material goal, so it becomes a limb of karma. For example, the Karmis also follow Chaturmas. Like Chaturmas, many things we give up, like honey, 4 months we don't take honey. Many devotees 4 months don't sleep on a nice bed. They give up rajma, all type of soya beans, tomatoes and eggplants, and many things in Chaturmas. But The Dharma Shastra said one who gives up honey for 4 months, next life will be born as a Gandharva and can sing wonderfully. One who gives up, like, especially sex life and sleeping on opulent beds for 4 months of Chaturmas, next life they get like opulent thrones like Indra. They become king of heaven. So all these things encourage materialists to also follow. So materialists also do Chaturmas, but they cannot get the real result, which is love for Krishna, because they're not doing it for Krishna's satisfaction. But still they get so much benefit. So Ekadashi is also an eternal thing, because we see Ekadashi brought in Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. It's also mentioned in one of the 64 limbs of Bhakti. So they were all Vaishnavas in all yugas, and in all sampradayas, all follow Ekadashi. In fact, Gurudev would say, all sinful activity, there's a method of purification. Right? If I steal something, the Dharma Shastra can give some rectification, some prayaschitta. No? Even if I kill a cow, there's something you can do. But Gurudev said, every sin there's a method of purification, except the sin of missing Ekadashi. There is no rectification, there is no purification for that person. That means how much serious. So the Puranas describe that Ekadashi is so pure that Pap Purush. Actually, if someone has their phone, they can give me a little. They don't bring their phone? Type up Pap Purush in Google search. We can little describe him. In Christianity, they believe the devil and God are opposite. They're like fighting with each other. Like the devil gave up his subordination to the Supreme Lord and became something. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, we cannot accept any independent being like Satan. Not accept it. Bring clear, please. So ignorance, Pap, this is also creation of the Supreme Lord. You see in second canto Bhagavatam, these all envy, lust, greed, these all bad qualities, these are also the creation of Lord Brahma. Oh no. Pap Purush. You spelled it wrong. Okay. So, Pap, sin, is also creation of Bhagavan. So sin has no place to hide on Ekadashi because Krishna becomes a... Because Krishna
about grain and things, that's why.
Krishna himself has become. Did you find anything, Renu? No. She spelled Pap wrong. That's why it's coming up strange.
Maybe you can type it.
Ah, here he is.
Yeah. Oh.
Pap Purush. There's many pictures of him, but anyway, don't worry. So, there's nice descriptions of his body. So sin also went to Bhagavan and complained. My God. There's no descriptions of Pap Purush. Anyway, what I can remember, cow killing is like his one eye. I should have prepared a bit. Anyway, so all bad activity, like stealing gold, betraying a friend, hunting, killing animals, killing a Brahmin, killing a king, killing your parents, all these things, the Pap Purush's body is made of all this. Like his eye is made of abortion, his stomach is like this. So he's not a nice fellow.
I'll type it again.
Huh?
I'll type it again.
Okay, don't worry. Just take my word for it. But there's nice description of like his right hand is this, his left hand is this, his stomach, his eyes, his nose. His whole body is made of the worst type of activities. So Pap Purush went to Bhagavan and said, I am also your creation, directly or indirectly. So on Ekadashi I have no place to stay because this titi is so pure. So please give me some shelter. No? Just like we heard Bhagavan gave shelter to Kali Yuga, in illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating and gambling. Then Krishna gave Kali Yuga, you stay in these 4 places. No? So in the same way, Pap Purush was given shelter. Krishna said, you stay in grains, you stay in beans. No? There were all type of grains, we don't eat on Ekadashi. Grains like corn, wheat, chickpea flour. What else? Rice, of course. Don't forget rice. Yes. All type of seeds, all type of grains, and all type of beans, including soya beans, right? Dals. What else? Moong. Anyway, grains and beans, everyone understands. Therefore, Vaishnavas should not eat that, because on the day of Ekadashi, all sin goes into grains and beans. So someone may be very pious, very good, very truthful, very honest, but they're eating grains on Ekadashi, we can count them as the most sinful persons. So in the same way, Vaishnavas, by not eating grains on Ekadashi, become free from all sin, as well as by doing service to Bhagavan on the day of Ekadashi, they accumulate so much bhakti, so much good fortune. No? Therefore, we see Ekadashi is practiced in all yugas. Bhagavatam gives the famous example of Ambarish Maharaj. No? Ambarish Maharaj was king in Satyuga. Actually, his kingdom was in Ujjain. But on the day before Ekadashi, he would travel to Vrindavan. Especially there is the forest of Madhuvan. And there he would do Ekadashi. Ekadashi means, of course, 11 days after the Purnima, 11 days after the full moon, and 11 days after the new moon. That 11 days are called Ekadashi. But for the Vaishnavas, Ekadashi means also more than that. We have 11 senses. Seeing, smelling, tasting, hearing, touch. The 5 Gyan-indriya, by these senses we get knowledge. And the 5 Karma-indriya, by these 5 senses of speech, hands and legs, digestion, genital and rectum. These 4 senses we perform action. Do you find it?
What's that green stuff?
Oh my God. Okay, we got it. Thank you, Balaram.
Useful for something.
Sure. You'll love this. I know you love all this type of stuff. So, let me just read the form of Papurush. Sorry, Bhagwan. Head is made of the sin of murdering a Brahmin. 2 eyes are the forms of the sin of drinking intoxicants. Oh, I was wrong. So smoking ganja and drinking beer, these are the 2 eyes of Papurush. His mouth is made of the sin of stealing gold. Balaram, stealing gold? I hope not. Ears are the form of the sin of having illicit sex with the wife of the spiritual master. The nose of the Papurush is the sin of killing one's wife. Is that a sin? Yes. Of course, no matter how much she tempts you, don't do it. Arms of the Papurush are the form of killing a cow. I was right about that. His neck is made of the sin of stealing wealth. His chest is the sin of abortion. His lower chest, the sin of having sex with another man's wife. His stomach, the stomach of Papurush, is the sin of killing one's relatives. Again, even though temptation may be there, one must not do. The navel of this Papurush, sin personified, his navel is the sin of killing those who are dependent on you. Like children or even animals, like dogs and cats, of course, non-Vedically, but even animals, birds who depend on us, you kill them is a great sin of betrayal. No? Especially the farmers who keep the chickens and they all love the farmer and think he's their friend, then he kills them. This is also one type of betrayal. No? So the waste of the sin Papurush is self-glorification. Gurudev would often say, one who glorifies himself drinks poison every step. Every one story. It's quite funny. Before I used to travel, I used to make some little blog, and it was quite humorous. No? And many people liked it, so they must have told someone. And someone told Gurudev, Damodar Maharaj writing something. And Gurudev saw me one morning. Gurudev said, I heard you are glorifying yourself so much. One who glorifies himself drinks poison every moment. And I said, who is saying that, Gurudev? And Gurudev said, everyone is saying that. And I said, Gurudev, everyone is not saying that, only Brajanath is saying that. And Gurudev laughed and just dropped it, because I got it right. Gurudev, everyone is not saying, only Brajanath Prabhu was saying. And Gurudev laughed and forgot. Anyway, so don't glorify yourself, that's the point. The thighs of Papurush is the sin of offending the Guru. Wow. Well, I didn't know that. I thought Vaishnava Aparad was separate from sin. And here, no, this blaspheme one's Guru is also one. Offend one's Guru, disobey one's Guru, this is the thighs of the sin, Papurush. The genital of the Papurush, the sin of selling one's daughter. Okay, don't do that. The buttocks of the Papurush is telling confidential secrets to others. Right? Everyone says, hey, if I tell you something, don't tell anyone. Yeah, I promise. Hare Krishna. Just remember the buttocks. The feet of the Papurush is killing one's mother or one's father. And his hair is lesser sinful activities. Okay, so his bodily complexion is black, of course, and his eyes are yellow. He inflicts extreme misery upon sinful persons. According to the instructions of Lord Vishnu, every kind of sinful activity that can be found in the material world takes its refuge in grains on the day of Ekadashi. Feeling hungry? Where's Nitai gone? Nitai, where are you? Okay. Hearing all this, Nitai? Okay, so make one promise. Okay, maybe I'm not Haridas Thakur with the chanting, but let me whole life do Ekadashi. Okay, I think everyone can make that promise. It's not very difficult to do. Just needs some remembrance and a little control. Oh, because we're always snacking. Just needs a little control, and the result is very wonderful. So in Satyuga, Ambarish Maharaj was doing Ekadashi. So he would travel to Mathura. There's the 12 forests. Most famous is Madhuvan. And he would live there on Ekadashi day and do Ekadashi Brat. And how he would do Ekadashi, by all 11 senses, he would use to serve Bhagavan. That famous verse in Bhagavatam, Savaimana Krishna Padara Vindavachamsi Vaikunta Gunana Kara Harira Mandira Majanadi. So these verses describe he's a Ekadashi Brat. Savai Mana Krishna, of course, with mind he would remember because mind is also the 11th sense, they say. Manuraj controls all the other 10 senses. So with his mind he would remember Krishna. Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanavad, his voice, his speech, he would glorify Vaikunta Katha, topics of Bhagavan, topics of Radha Krishna. Kara means hand. Kara harir mandira majanadi. So even though he was the king, with his own hand he would clean the temple. He would not give some chamcha $5 you do. With his own hand he would do. With his feet he would visit the holy places. Okay? Everyone coming to Ekadashi this year? Prangopal, make your ticket already. Mukesh coming? Mukunda? Sell a kidney, come to Vrindavan. Padmavati, come. This is proper use of feet to walk to the holy place. Of course, this is not Vrindavan, but still, we all walked here to come for Harikatha. This is Pada Sevanam, using our feet for Thakurji Seva. So he used his tongue to taste the tulsi offered to Bhagavan and to chant the names. He used his ears to hear Harikatha. He used his body to use his head to bow to the deity, the Vigraha forms of Thakurji. He used his body to embrace the Vaishnavas, not Vaishnavis. Vaishnav should embrace Vaishnav, Vaishnavi should embrace Vaishnavi. Advised that intermixing should not be done. But King would use his body to embrace the body of the Vaishnavas, his nose to smell the flowers and other things offered to Thakurji, incense. In this way, Ambarish used all 11 senses to serve Bhagavan. And also, night time, he would not sleep. Now, you read Hari Bhakti Vilas. don't sleep on Ekadashi night. Okay, ready? Purnamasi? Therefore, Prabhupada said, don't look at Hari Bhakti Vilas. He gave instruction. Don't look. Actually, he said, Hari Bhakti Vilas was written by Gopal Bhatta Goswami, because Brahmin. But also so much he had connection with Sri Sampradaya. And Sri Sampradaya are very strict followers of all these rules and regulations. So it said Mahaprabhu wanted a Vaishnava Smriti that would close the mouths of even the hardest opponent to Gaudiya Vaishnavas, including the material smartas and even other Vaishnava sects. So that was to close the mouths of those who say Gaudiya not follow anything. And actually all these rules, actually I can almost say hardly anyone can follow all these rules in Kali Yuga. No? So our Guru Parampara just given the essence, and we, in a simplified manner and with simple hearts, we follow that and give more emphasis to Shravan Kirtan. So Prabhupada said, don't look at Hari Bhakti Vilas. Don't look too much. But you read there, if you read it, then you realize why. Don't eat on Ekadashi. Don't sleep on Ekadashi, all these things. So, of course, in Satyuga that is very easy. So Ambarish Maharaj all night, he would not sleep. But still, some Vaishnavas do like this. Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. And good luck stayed in his ashram. All night on Ekadashi he would not sleep, even though he was 100 years old. All night he would chant on his beats. Has anyone ever stayed awake all night on Ekadashi and chanted Hare Krishna? I did once. Still glorifying myself, but old habits die hard. But still, it was a really great thing. Sometime we can do it. No? I remember in Russia we'd go to the forest. Twice I did actually, not once. There you go, double glorification. So we made a big fire in the forest. All night we stayed awake. It's a wonderful thing. If you get a chance, you can do. And fast. Even Gurudev would fast. Actually, Gurudev, you could see on his stomach many operations he had. Doctor said, don't fast. It's not good for your health. So I heard before when they started cooking on Ekadashi, Gurudev would take a bucket of water and throw on the fire in the kitchen. He would do like that. But then they're also kind enough. If compulsory fasting was there for Ekadashi, who would do it? We'd probably say, forget it, I'm going to Ramakrishna mission. So Guru Parampara, little adjusting. But still some Vaishnavas like Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, they could stay awake all night and chant holy names. No? So King would do like that. Then the time for breaking fast, this is also in Hari Bhakti Vilas. Very specific time for breaking fast. So I don't know what Premananda is going to do when it's midnight the next day you have to break the fast. So everyone's breaking fast, but they're losing their Ekadashi, no? Because following someone who's given up now got some independence from Guru Parampara. So that person's going to hell, and everyone who's following him also going, no? Like Prahlad said, Adeya Tandi Upaniya Manas. The blind leading the blind. No? Everyone falls in the hole. Very sad. So anyway, Hare Krishna. So the time for breaking fast is also very specific. And Gurudev said if we do not break fast the correct time, we lose the result of Ekadashi. That is also part of the vrat. So Ambarish Maharaj, after feeding the Vaishnavas, the Brahmanas, the guests, he was about to take some pardon. That time, the great one, very important guest, that is Durvasa Rishi. Durvasa Rishi, very wonderful character. He's the partial incarnation of Lord Shiva. Therefore, very easily upset. Very hard to please. I heard his first wife, he burnt her to ashes. Very hard to please Durvasa Rishi. But if you could satisfy him, he also gave big benedictions. Like Durvasa Rishi gave the benediction to Kunti Devi. He gave her a mantra. Anyone you think of when you chant this mantra, this demigod will give you a son. So also we see, Bhagavan Krishna also served him. Have you heard that katha? Very funny, no? Durvasa Rishi came to Dwarka, then Krishna served him. Service means what the guest wants, you must provide. No? Durvasa Rishi said, I want to see the city of Dwarka. So Krishna immediately brought his chariot. But Durvasa said, no, not by horse, by queen. Rukmini, they will pull the chariot around Dwarka. Imagine. Who would agree to that, to have their wife pull the chariot? But Krishna is showing, no, what sadhu wants, what guru wants, you have to give them. Don't be upset. So Krishna, Rukmini also, she is Mahalakshmi, but she also giving example. They're pulling the chariot, then Durvasa is saying, faster, faster, then Krishna, kuch, kuch. Of course, he's not beating Rukmini. So, encouragement. Faster, faster, Durvasa. Rukmini pulling the chariot. Then for no reason, Durvasa jumped off the chariot, dissatisfied for some reason. Krishna chased him, following him. Oh, Mahajan, please. We could not please you. We're very sorry. Please forgive us. Krishna's so gentle behavior. Then Durvasa Rishi's heart melted. Anyway, so he gave Krishna some benediction. We will talk about that later. This is not main topic. But Krishna also serving sadhus. How Krishna served Sandipani Rishi. How Krishna served Durvasa. So, Durvasa Rishi said, I cannot eat before I do my Gayatri. So he went to the Yamuna, taking bath. Many hours passed. Then Ambarish Maharaj became afraid. What should I do if I eat? How can I eat before my guest? My guest is Brahman, also yogi. That will give some inauspiciousness. But if I do not break Ekadashi according to the rules, I will lose my bhakti. So what should I do? So Guru Maharaj said, sometimes we break some rules of society to follow bhakti, there is no fault. So Ambarish consulted with the Vaishnavas. You drink some water offered at the feet of Bhagavan. So he took some charanamrita. You break the fast, but also don't eat anything. Ambarish Maharaj became angry. So he came there. Rascal king, you are puffed up with your opulence and disrespecting me. I will kill you. So he took a dreadlock from his head and cast it on the ground. Became Kriti Rakshas, one great fire demon, demoness. Durvasa Rishi ordered, kill the king. The king was not afraid. Oh, Bhagavan, save me, which would not be a fault, but he did not do. Krishna, Mare, Krishna, Rake, Marake. Ki jane? Krishna, Rake, Marake. Krishna want to kill you, who will save you? Krishna want to kill you, who will save you? So, without fear, fully surrendered, he just prayed, remembered Krishna. Krishna immediately sent his Sudarshan chakra, which burned that fire demon to ashes and then went to burn Durvasa Rishi personally. Durvasa Rishi cried, it's Armageddon. Armageddon out of here. He fled. Wherever he went, the Sudarshan chakra followed. He went to the top of the universe, bottom of the universe, Lok mountain, the side of the universe, everywhere he went, the Sudarshan chakra was in the rear vision mirror. Finally thought, who will save me? He went to Shiva. Save me, save me. Shiva looked through the keyhole. I cannot do anything. The personal weapon of the Supreme Lord. I cannot do anything. Brahma also. I cannot help you. Durvasa Rishi thought, who can help me? Oh, Bhagavan can help me. He is the shelter of everyone. Oh, Bhagavan, Pahimam, Rakshamam, save me, save me. Bhagavan, I cannot do anything. What is that verse? What is that? Maham Bhakta Paradina hi aswat tantri vadvija sadhube graste nideva bhaktera bhakta janapriya. I cannot do anything. I am the property of the Vaishnavas. I am not independent. I am not in the Vaishnava has that position. Pure Vaishnava. No, this is not for Kanishta or Madhyam. This is Uttam Bhagavat. Control Krishna. Krishna is theirs. No, you please them, they can give you Krishna. So we should always be under the glance of such a Vaishnava. That is bhajan. Just to be on the glance of a Vaishnava, like this. And Gurudev enters Goloka Vrindavan, we must accept Shiksha Guru also who have this position. Who can protect us. Who can give us Krishna. This is Gurudev, always instruction. Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru should be on the same level. And if Diksha Guru is a little weak, not so high level, you must take shelter of Uttam Vaishnava. Accept them as life and soul and serve them properly. You have to hear from Uttam Bhagavan. So in this way, Durvasa Rishi was stunned. I thought the king to be a materialistic, ordinary person, but he holds such a position, he controls even Krishna. So he went and flung himself at the feet of Ambarish Maharaj, who for 1 year was praying to Bhagavan, do not kill my guest. Oh Bhagavan, if I have any sukriti, if I have any good activities, I donate them to this Brahman that you may not kill him. That's otherwise, that's why Durvasa was spared the Sudarshan Chakra, because of the prayers of Ambarish. And Ambarish, Durvasa saw this. Oh Ananta Dasanam, just see the glories of the devotees of Ananta. For them, there is nothing impossible. Dasanam avashishyati. For the servants of Bhagavan, nothing is impossible. I have seen with my own eyes. I tried to kill him, but he prayed for my well-being. So Ambarish Maharaj, how he achieved that? This is the glories of Ekadashi Day. In Treta Yuga, Ramchandra also followed Ekadashi. Dwapara Yuga also. Guru Maharaj gave that proof. In Ramayana it's described, in Rajaram, the kingdom of Ram, there was no complaints, because everyone was perfectly following Varnashram. There was no complaints. There was no untimely death or disease or dishonesty. But still, anyone who had a complaint could complain. So, one dog came. The dog had a bleeding head. Someone had cracked him one. So dog said, I wish to complain. Then Ram asked, what is your complaint? One Brahmin beat me for no reason. So Lord Ram called the Brahmin. Why have you inflicted violence upon the dog? He is also my citizen. Before, the kings would not just see humans as Kiwis or residents. They would see everyone. Trees, animals, even rivers, mountains. These are all citizens. But nowadays, no. Kiwi means what? Human being. So, Ramchandra called the Brahmin. Why you beat the dog without any cause? Brahmin said, what could I do? Bhagavan, yesterday was Ekadashi. I was so hungry. I came out to bake some madhukari for breaking my vrat, making some khichdi or some dokla or something. Then this dog was blocking my path. So I cannot step over him because Paramatma is there. Hat! Hey! Chalo! Hat! Dog not moved. I was so angry I beat him on the head. Then Ramchandra thought deeply, some punishment should be there. Because you are Brahmin, we cannot physically punish you, but still something must be there. So your punishment is, there was a big Durga temple in Ayodhya. You become temple president. I think we told this story the other night.
Yesterday.
Huh?
Yesterday you told us.
Oh, yes. All right. When? Yesterday in the park?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Dharma just has 2 or 3 stories he just recycles.
At Glenn's.
At Nandakishore.
Yeah,
So-
on Friday night.
Ram said, you become temple president of the big Durga temple. And Brahmin became so happy. So much prasad, so much pranami, so much Dandavat Maharaj, so much respect. So very happily he went to get his punishment. Then Ram smiled. Oh dog, what do you think of the punishment? Dog said, I think that is very good punishment. You know everything. I know because last life I was that temple president. And that dog said, I was very softly spoken, very gentle. I was not greedy, but some mistake, some offense, I became dog. And this Brahmin, very greedy, very angry, and how many offenses he will do? So this is good punishment for him. So Gurudev would tell this katha to prove in Treta Yuga was also Ekadashi. In Dwapara Yuga, also Bhagavan would do Ekadashi. Radha Krishna. Gurudev would use this argument in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, many Brijbasi, we are Brijbasi, no need to follow Ekadashi. Many people say like this. But Brijbasi all doing Ekadashi. Especially Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj is a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. It said Nanda Baba always in his mind is praying to Vishnu, please protect my son. Please save my son. So for Vishnu's satisfaction, he also followed Ekadashi. Actually, it's described, Jiva Goswami described in this Gopal Champu, that Nanda Baba and Yasoda married, but no child. Even their hair had salt and pepper, some black and white, but still no son. So Nanda Baba always dreaming of baby Krishna. I won't tell too much, but he would describe his dreams to Yasoda. So Krishna first appeared in the heart of Nanda. Then by Harikatha, Krishna appeared in the heart of Yasoda. Oh Devi, I dreamt you gave birth to a very beautiful son. Dark like a tamal tree, with hands and fingers and toes very soft like the sprouts of that tamal tree. His eyes like a lotus, and normally baby is quite ugly when born. I remember Gopal, how ugly when he was born, my God. Bald, fat, but Krishna not like that. You can give him this recording. So Krishna born with full head of hair, so attractive. And he would drink your breast milk. So much milk came from your breast, he could not drink, it would flow out of his mouth down his chest. So Nanda Baba would speak Katha to Yasoda, that Yasoda also thinking, my son will be like this. My son is like this. Not my son will be, my son is like this. But Krishna not born yet, but before Krishna born, they're thinking, he is my son. My son is this. How could we get such a son? Then they began discussing how we can get this son. Then they told the Katha of Ramchandra. Dasaratha Maharaj also had no son. He did a yagya. He got 4 sons. Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Satrugna. So we can also do some yagya. Then no. Because the son we want is millions of times more beautiful, more qualified than even Bhagavan Ramchandra. By ordinary yagya, we cannot get this type of child. Then they looked and everyone should do Ekadashi. Everyone do Ekadashi. Nothing pleases Bhagavan more. So Nanda Yasoda and all Brijabasi also doing Ekadashi. Oh Bhagavan, be pleased. May Vishnu be pleased. Give Nanda Yasoda a son. So one of the reasons for Krishna's appearance, Ekadashi brought. This whole Gopal Champu described. Radharani also doing Ekadashi. Radharani also doing Tulsi Seva. We have Tulsi here. There she is. No? I think everyone should have Tulsi in their house. Everyone should. You have? Prabhavati? Okay. Come in the class. Don't hide in the back. You came late last week as well. You came last week, right?
Yes.
Did you do Ekadashi today? Ay, Sarvanas. Why not? You should promise in front of Radhakrishna, this is the last Ekadashi I miss. Okay? This is no bad promise, this is great promise, good thing. If devotee gives some punishment, that punishment is also bhakti. We punish you, do Ekadashi. Anyway, so this is proof. Bhagavatam is one proof. Also Dwapa Yuga, Brijabasi also doing Ekadashi. I should finish soon, right? And in Kali Yuga, of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave how much importance to Ekadashi. How much importance he gave. Before people were thinking only a woman whose husband has died, she should do Ekadashi. So one day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Mother Sachi, Mother, will you give me a benediction? She said, yes, son. I can give my body thousands of times. What to speak of, give you a benediction. So Mahaprabhu said, please mother, promise me you will follow Ekadashi. And Jagannath Mishra was still alive then. So no question of, because she was a widow, she did Ekadashi. In this way, from the beginning of his pastimes, Mahaprabhu established Ekadashi Vrat. Even before he could speak. When Nimai was a baby, normally if Nimai would cry, the ladies would chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The ladies would cry, and the child would not, he would stop. The ladies would chant, and the child would stop crying and dance. But today he would not stop crying, no matter how much they chanted. So finally Jagannath Mishra said, "Oh child, what do you want? I promise, whatever you want I will give you." So Nimai said, "I want the Ekadashi offerings of Jagadish and Hiranya." Jagadish and Hiranya would... Jagadish and Hiranya were two brothers. Nityananda would go and stay in their cottage whenever he came. He would stay in their cottage a long time. These two brahmanas were doing Ekadashi. On the day of Ekadashi, they would offer many special preparations to Bhagavan. Because we eat potatoes on Ekadashi, but Bhagavan doesn't have to eat potatoes on Ekadashi. On Ekadashi, we can offer any type of grain to the deity, even the deity of Lord Chaitanya. But that prasad we should not take till the next day. So Jagannath Mishra went to the house of the two brothers. "Oh, Jagannath Mishra," they had great friendship with him. "Welcome, how can we serve you?" And Jagannath Mishra hanged his head in shame. "I have an impossible request for you." "Oh, nothing is impossible for friends. What do you want?" "My son wants your Ekadashi offerings." And the two brothers become astonished. How this baby knows we are doing Ekadashi? This baby must be Lord Narayan himself. And to give mercy to us, he is performing activity like this. So from the beginning of his Leela, Mahaprabhu giving so much mercy to the devotees who follow Ekadashi. Especially when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Puri. Especially Jagannath Puri is very famous for prasad. They offer 56 times, I think 56 times a day they offer Jagannath. So hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kilos every day they offer him. So all that prasad is then taken to Bimala Devi. And then afterwards it's taken to Ananda Bazaar and they sell it and distribute it there. So all the brahmanas of Puri, right? Where's Jayashree? Oh. Anyway, she knows. The brahmanas, the pandits in Puri, sometimes they're a little greedy. Especially for some donations. And selling Jagannath Prasad. When Gurudev was in Puri, one time I was with him when we were walking. Then Gurudev said, "I first came here in 1947. I first came here in 1947 with my Gurudev. Then I said, "Gurudev, many things must have changed since then." And he said, "Some things have changed, but some things never change." Then I said, "Like what? What never changes?" He said, "The ocean. The ocean never changes." Then he said, Jagannath Dev also never changes." And then he laughed and said, "And the pandits, they also never change." Always a little bit greedy, no? So on the day of Ekadashi, because of Mahaprabhu's influence, everyone was fasting from Ekadashi, from grains. Even grains offered to Bhagavan, we should not take on Ekadashi. So all the pandits on the day of Ekadashi, they brought so much Mahaprasad to Lord Chaitanya's place. Gambira. That means huge. You've seen the huge pots of rice and dal and wonderful prayer. Oh my God. I shouldn't talk about these things on Ekadashi. Kheer saga, condensed milk with little chunks in it. So amazing things. Malpuras. Many preparations not even go to Ananda Bazaar because so special preparations. So this Jagannath Puri Prasad is especially so much glorious. It said, Kukura Simukad Brasta. Even the Prasad of Jagannath falls from the mouth of a dog. A Brahmana without hesitation will take and eat. Without hesitation. Normally Brahmanas are very careful who they eat with. When I first came to the temple, I remember, Prasad was there. Now, everyone, I was just sitting next to some guys eating Prasad. Then afterwards, Gurudev called me and said, "Never eat Prasad with someone who has not taken Diksha. Don't sit with them, don't eat." So, very strict. And especially the Brahmanas. But in Jagannath Puri, the Brahmanas eat on the same plate with Muslims. No hesitation, so much they have faith in Jagannath Prasad. So Jagannath Prasad never contaminated. In any condition you can take. Like after Mahaprabhu gave mercy to Sarvabhauma, the next morning he came to his house. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had just woken up and he chanted Hare Krishna. First thing. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased that he brought this prasad, the Jagannath Prasad, to a Brahmin, Sarvabhauma. Then without saying anything, Sarvabhauma took it and put it in his mouth. But normally Brahmin, right, first wake up, brush your teeth, pass stool, wash your hands 7 times, take bath, fresh cloth, tilak, gayatri, then you can think about, then some worship, then you can think about eating. But the Supreme Lord himself bringing Jagannath, take, Haribol. That is the result, that is so much mercy. So he took it, just ate directly. Then Mahaprabhu said, my preaching is successful. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has developed faith in Jagannath Prasad. So all the Brahmanas on the day of Ekadashi brought, because everyone doing Ekadashi, what's that, 2 days a month? What's that? That means no one eating grains on Ekadashi, that means 7% drop. More actually. No, yes. 14% drop in profits. This is quite a tragedy, right? So all Brahmanas bought Mahaprasad on the day of Ekadashi. Take, oh Bhagavan. Because if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu eats Jagannath Prasad, business goes up, back to normal. So what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? First he glorified Mahaprasad. But then he glorified Ekadashi Devi. This is rule, Vaishnava should take Prasad. But the rule in Shastra says even on the day of Ekadashi, Vaishnavas should not take grains. So not eating grains on Ekadashi is not breaking any prohibitions of bhakti. So Mahaprabhu said, we know the glories of Ekadashi, we know the glories of Prasad, but the glories of Ekadashi are also wonderful. We cannot disrespect Ekadashi Devi. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did pranam to the Prasad. And all night they circumambulated the Prasad. That was us, we wouldn't be able to chant because our mouths would be full of digestive juices. So all night they did pranam around the Mahaprasad, chanting the holy names. All night. Next morning they did dandavats to the Prasad, and then the correct time they break their fast. This way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu maintained the proper integrity of Ekadashi. So now it's a bit late. Okay. So everyone should be firmly determined. What's your name? Huh? Mohini. Aye. Mohini. We just told the first half of the class was about Mohini Devi and how she bewildered everyone to not follow Ekadashi. You can ask someone, they'll tell you after class. You should promise Mohini, no? Okay, I cannot do very much for Bhagavan, but twice a month I can follow Ekadashi for his satisfaction. Okay, it's a very easy thing. It's not difficult. 7 things don't break Ekadashi. No? Fruits, roots, peanuts, potatoes, fruits, roots, seeds, dairy products, water, medicine. And sometimes Guru Vaishnava may order you to eat grains on Ekadashi. If you follow that order, it's also considered you maintained Ekadashi. Some special occasion, no? Like the preachers from Gaudiya Math who went to England, Bhaktivedanta Bon Goswami Maharaj, Goswami Maharaj they called him, Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj, and one disciple of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. His name was Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur gave him sannyas, no? Tirtha Goswami, Tirtha Maharaj. So these 3 went to England, they were going to England. And that day was the day of Ekadashi, because they say Ekadashi is a good day to travel. So Prabhupada brought the prasad from the deities, of the main deities there in Mayapur. Gandharvaka Giridhari, it's Ishtadev of Raghunath Goswami. So it was the day of Ekadashi. We said, bring the prasad, Ekadashi prasad. Ekadashi prasad means Thakurji does not have to fast, so rice, dal, bean. And even though it was Ekadashi, Prabhupada ordered them, eat all this. No. Why? He said, you are going to England. There is no prasad there. Right? There's no deities. There's no Tulsi. There's no Ganga. There's no nothing. There you will not get prasad. This is your last chance. So even though it's Ekadashi, take Thakurji's prasad. So if you believe in Guru like that and you take, it's also said you follow the Ekadashi. I heard Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj also, one sannyasi. He also came to Gurudev. He would take care of all the printing of Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj's books. So for that he had to go to Ekadashi. So early in the morning, something happened. He asked, when are you going? Tomorrow I'm going. Tomorrow is Ekadashi. Yes, Gurudev, I have to leave very early. Then he said, before you go, you take Khichdi Prasad. He said, but tomorrow is Ekadashi, doesn't matter. He said, because our main goal of Ekadashi is seva. So if you eat khichdi and you fill your stomach nicely, you'll have energy to do the seva. If you fast, you will not have energy to do the seva. And our main goal is seva, is not some other goal. So if some high-class Vaishnava orders you to eat grains on Ekadashi, and you eat, that is also not breaking Ekadashi. So I remember one guy, he was not doing Ekadashi, he was Gurudev's disciple. So I told Gurudev, no, he's not doing Ekadashi. Then they say snitches get stitches, but not in bhakti. Because who else will rectify this guy? He only believed in Guru, so-called Guru Nishta. Then Gurudev said, I heard you are not doing Ekadashi. You must do. Then he said, oh Gurudev, I heard if Guru gives some concession, you can take. Gurudev said, no concession for you. Look how fat you are. The guy was like this. You must fast on Ekadashi. So no concession. But sometimes some special inspiration that may happen. But it's the exception, not the rule. An exception never becomes the rule. So today Mohini is Ekadashi. Actually, yesterday was Ekadashi. Today is Mahadwadasi. We explained all that why. Anyway, don't worry. So actually you should worry, but be more attentive, more careful. Should we read for her what she had for breakfast again? Paparush? Did you eat anything for breakfast? What you had?
I had lunch direct, no breakfast.
Huh?
I just had lunch,
What you had?
rice and dal.
You didn't have rice and dal. We'll read what you had. No, we'll do that. Okay. Ekadashi Titi ki jai. Siddhartha Damoda Gaudiya Mat ki jai. Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Yes, sir.
Question. We're not supposed to pick tulsi leaves on Dwadasi, right? The day after Ekadashi. So if it's a Mahadwadasi,
It's still Dwadasi. Today's Dwadasi.
so but we're observing it as an Ekadashi.
Doesn't matter.
They don't.
Yesterday was still Ekadashi, but you just don't fast then. So today is still Dwadasi, but
So
you don't transfer to the trial.
to the next day.
It's still Dwadasi. Okay, everyone feeling happy? Purnam? Take it. Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.